Chapter 5. Fire. It was March. One night I was in bed, but I was not asleep. The house was quiet. Suddenly, I heard a sound in the corridor outside my room. "Who's there?" I said. Nobody answered. Then I heard a strange laugh. I got out of my bed and I went quietly to the door. I listened. I heard another sound. Somebody was walking up the stairs to the top corridor. Then I heard somebody close a door. Was that Grace Poole? I said to myself. Yes, it was Grace. Why was she laughing? And why is she walking in the house at night? Is she mad? I must tell Mrs. Fairfax about this. I will speak to her now. I put on some clothes and I opened the door. There was a candle on the floor outside my room. The candle was burning. There was thick smoke in the corridor. I went into the corridor. I looked around me. The door of Mr. Rochester's bedroom was open, and the smoke was coming from Mr. Rochester's room. I ran into the room. "Wake up, sir!" "What happened, Jane?" "There was a fire, sir. Grace Poole tried to kill you." "Stay here, Jane. Open the window. I'll go upstairs." I sat in a chair by the window. Time passed. At last, Mr. Rochester returned. "Please don't worry, Jane," he said. "Grace Poole is a strange woman, but she won't hurt anybody tonight." I stood up. "Good night, sir," I said. Mr. Rochester held my hand. He looked at me, and he smiled. "Thank you, my dear friend," he said. "You saved my life tonight, Jane." "Good night, sir," I said again. I went back to my bed. I was very tired. But at first, I could not sleep. Suddenly, I understood something. I loved Mr. Rochester. He had smiled at me. He had held my hand. Did he love me? I did not know. But I thought about Mr. Rochester for a long time. I did not see Mr. Rochester the next day. He did not send for me. In the evening, I went down to Mrs. Fairfax's sitting room. The housekeeper was looking out of the window. "The weather has been good today," Mrs. Fairfax said. "Mr. Rochester had a good day for his journey." "His journey? Where has he gone?" I asked. I was surprised. "He has gone to Ingram Park," Mrs. Fairfax replied. "Mr. Rochester will stay there for a week or more. He has many friends. All his friends will be at Ingram Park this week." "Will there be any ladies at Ingram Park?" I asked. "Yes," Mrs. Fairfax said. "There will be many ladies there. Miss Blanche Ingram will be there. Mr. Rochester has known her for many years." "Is Miss Ingram beautiful?" I asked. "She is very beautiful," Mrs. Fairfax said. "Will Mr. Rochester marry her?" I asked. Mrs. Fairfax smiled. "I don't know, Miss Eyre," she replied. I don't know. I was very unhappy. I went up to my bedroom. I looked in my mirror. Jane Eyre, I said to myself, you are not pretty, and you are poor. Mr. Rochester will never marry you. He will marry Miss Blanche Ingram. She is a rich lady. You are a poor governess. Forget Mr. Rochester, Jane Eyre. Forget him. Chapter 6. Guests at Thornfield Hall. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived for Mrs. Fairfax. Mr. Rochester will return on Thursday, Mrs. Fairfax said. Some of his friends will come here with him. There will be many guests at Thornfield Hall. On Thursday evening, Mrs. Fairfax, Adele and I were in Adele's bedroom. Mrs. Fairfax was looking out of the window. The guests are arriving now, Mrs. Fairfax said. I went to the window and I looked out. There were 3 carriages. 2 people were riding horses. Mr. Rochester was riding his big black horse. A beautiful young woman was riding a white horse. Mrs. Fairfax pointed to the young woman. That is Miss Ingram, the housekeeper said. Then she went downstairs. Adele wanted to go downstairs too. No, Adele, I said. We cannot go downstairs tonight. Mr. Rochester is talking to his guests. The next day, Mrs. Fairfax came into the schoolroom. Mr. Rochester wants you to meet his guests tonight, Miss Eyre, she said. Adele must meet them too. Later, Adele and I went quietly into the sitting room. And soon, 8 ladies came into the room. One of them was tall, dark, and very beautiful. She was Blanche Ingram. Adele ran towards her. Good evening, beautiful lady, she said in French. What a pretty little girl, Blanche Ingram said. Miss Ingram spoke to the other ladies, and she spoke to Adele, but she did not speak to me. Half an hour later, the gentleman came into the room. I looked at Mr. Rochester. He saw me, but he did not speak to me. Miss Ingram pointed at Adele. Why doesn't this little girl live at school, Mr. Rochester? She asked. Adele learns her lessons at home, Mr. Rochester replied. She has a governess. Oh, yes, that small woman by the window, Miss Ingram said. I had many governesses. I hated all of them. They were all ugly and stupid. Later, Miss Ingram and Mr. Rochester sang some songs together. Mr. Rochester had a fine voice. I listened to the songs. Then I left the room. Mr. Rochester followed me. What is wrong, Jane? He asked. Nothing is wrong, sir, I said. But I am tired. I am going to my room. Good night, sir. You are tired. And you are unhappy too, Mr. Rochester replied. There are tears in your eyes. Rest now, Jane. But please come and meet my guests tomorrow evening. Don't forget, Jane. The guests stayed at Thornfield Hall for 2 weeks. Every evening, I went to the sitting room with Adele. Nobody spoke to me. Mr. Rochester and Miss Ingram were always together. One afternoon, Mr. Rochester went to Millcote. He returned late in the evening. I met him at the front door. "Another guest has arrived, sir," I told him. "His name is Mr. Mason. He has come from the West Indies." Suddenly, Mr. Rochester's face was pale. He held my hand tightly. "Mason. The West Indies. Mason," he said. "Are you ill, sir?" I asked. "Jane, my little friend, I've had a shock," he said. "Bring me a glass of wine, please." I went quickly to the dining room. I returned with a glass of wine, and I gave it to Mr. Rochester. "What are my guests doing?" he asked. "They are eating and laughing, sir," I replied. "Mr. Mason is talking to the other guests." "One day they will all hate me," Mr. Rochester said. "Now go into the dining room again. Tell Mason to meet me in the library." I gave Mr. Mason the message. Then I went to my bedroom. I got into my bed. Later, I heard Mr. Rochester coming up the stairs with Mr. Mason. They were laughing and talking. Soon, I was asleep. Chapter 7. A terrible night. Some hours later, I woke up. A terrible cry had woken me. The moon was bright. Its light was shining through my window. I listened. Then I heard somebody shouting. "Help! Help! Rochester! Help me!" The voice came from the top corridor. "Help! Help!" I got out of bed, and I put on a dress and some shoes. I opened my door. All the guests were in the corridor outside the bedrooms. They were all asking questions. "What happened?" they asked. "Is there a fire? Who is hurt? Where is Mr. Rochester?" "I am here," Mr. Rochester said. He was walking down the stairs from the top corridor. "What is wrong, Mr. Rochester?" Miss Ingram asked. "What has happened?" "Nothing is wrong," Mr. Rochester replied. "One of the servants has had a bad dream. Go back to bed." I went back to my room, but something was wrong. I did not get into my bed. I waited. Soon, somebody knocked on my door. I opened the door. Mr. Rochester was standing in the corridor. "Jane, follow me. Do not make a sound," Mr. Rochester said. We went up to the top corridor. Mr. Rochester unlocked a door, and we went inside a room. Mr. Mason was sitting on a chair in the room. His face was pale, and his shirt was covered with blood. Then I heard a terrible laugh. The sound came from the next room. "Grace Poole is a madwoman," I thought. "Why does Mr. Rochester have a mad servant?" Mr. Rochester spoke quietly to Mr. Mason. "I am going to bring a doctor, Richard," he said. Then he spoke to me. "Stay here, Jane. Wash Mr. Mason's arm, but do not speak to him." Mr. Rochester left the room. I washed Mr. Mason's arm. We waited for Mr. Rochester and the doctor. Mr. Mason did not speak to me, and I did not speak to him. After 2 hours, Mr. Rochester returned. The doctor was with him. The doctor looked at Mr. Mason's arm. "She bit me," Mr. Mason said. "I came up here. I wanted to see her. I wanted to help her. But she bit me." "Be quiet now, Richard," Mr. Rochester said quickly. The doctor put a bandage on Mr. Mason's arm. Mr. Rochester put Mr. Mason's coat round the injured man's shoulders. Then he spoke to me again. "Run downstairs, Jane. Unlock the small door at the side of the house," he said. "We will follow you." I went quickly downstairs, and I opened the door. Outside the door, a servant was waiting with a carriage. Mr. Mason and the doctor came out of the house. They got into the carriage. Then Mr. Rochester came out of the house too. Mr. Mason spoke to him through the window of the carriage. "Help her. Be kind to her, Rochester," he said. "Yes, I will, Mason," Mr. Rochester said. The servant drove the carriage away. "Will you walk in the garden with me, Jane?" Mr. Rochester asked. "I do not want to sleep now." "Yes, I will, sir," I said. Soon it was morning. The birds were beginning to sing. The flowers had a sweet smell. "It has been a strange night, Jane," Mr. Rochester said. "Were you frightened?" "I am frightened of Grace Poole," I said. "She will hurt you one day." "I am stronger than she is. She will not hurt me," Mr. Rochester said. He looked at me for a few moments. "Are you my friend, Jane?" he asked me. "Yes, sir. I will be your friend forever," I replied. "Thank you, my dear," Mr. Rochester said. "I have made mistakes. Now I want to be happy. That is not wrong, is it, Jane?" He stopped speaking for a minute. Then he said, "Go into the house. I'll talk to you tomorrow." But the next day, I had a letter from Gateshead Hall, my Aunt Reed's house. The letter was from my cousin Eliza. Gateshead Hall. Dear Jane Eyre, my brother, John, is dead. My mother is very ill. She wants to speak to you. Please come quickly, Jane. Your cousin, Eliza Reed. I started the journey to my Aunt Reed's house immediately. I arrived there the next day. My Aunt Reed was very, very ill. She could not move, and she did not speak to me. I wanted to return to Thornfield Hall. I wanted to see Mr. Rochester. But Eliza wanted me to stay at Gateshead Hall. After 3 weeks, my aunt spoke to me at last. She spoke very slowly. "Are you Jane Eyre?" she asked. "Yes, Aunt Reed, I am Jane Eyre," I replied. "There is a letter for you," Aunt Reed said. "It is in my desk. Call Eliza, please. She will get the letter." Eliza came into the room. She opened the desk, and she gave me a letter. "Read the letter, Jane," my aunt said. The letter had come from Madeira, but it was 3 years old. Madeira, October 1831. Dear Madam, I am Jane Eyre's uncle. I am a very rich man. I have no children. One day, Jane will have all my money. Tell her about me. She must write to me. John Eyre. I answered that letter, Aunt Reed said. I hated you, Jane. I did not want you to have your uncle's money. I wrote to John Eyre. I wrote, Jane Eyre is dead. She died at Lowood School. I am sorry, Jane. I was wrong. Mrs. Reed died that night. I left Gateshead Hall a few days later. I took my uncle's letter with me. Mr. Rochester met me at Thornfield Hall. Welcome back to my house, he said. This is your home, Jane. Thank you, sir, I said. I am very happy here. Mr. Rochester's guests had left. No other visitors came to Thornfield Hall. Every day, Mr. Rochester and I talked together. And every day, I loved him more.